I just want to be very clear with our narrative as I see people winding down and talking, that this isn't meant to be a venting session or to be looked at as, oh, look at all those disadvantaged students sharing what their experiences are. One, being a person of color, being part of the LGBTQ community, being from a low income background is not a disadvantage. We're not asking for you to feel bad for us or walk in our shoes, because in reality, if that's not a part of your identity, if that's not what you're born into, you're never holistically going to understand. But the last thing I want to communicate to this community is that, oh, we need your sympathy, we need you to feel bad for us. That is not the point of this justice circle. The point is that there needs to be structural changes. If you truly believe in the values of this college, there needs to be structural changes to ensure that no other student, regardless of their background, whether they be a person of color, whether they be low income, whether they be disabled, whether they come from any marginalized population, that they never feel like they don't belong here, that they never feel like they're not a part of this community, that they can't be valued in this community, that they can't open up and speak their truth without being shot down, whether it be by a student, whether it be by a teacher, whether it be by a staff member or administration. So that is the key message that we're trying to portray within this justice circle. And the last thing I want you guys to take away from this is, oh, some more students complaining about their experiences. Because in all honesty, we do like Edgewood. I have really enjoyed being here, and I'm sure my peers have as well. But there are key problems that I personally am a firm believer. I don't want nobody else to have to go through what I went through. I don't want anyone else to have to go through what the freshmen are going through. And that's why we are doing what we do, to make sure that it stops here. And we are holding the college accountable to ensure it stops here. So as they continue to share their narratives, I just want to make sure we're being clear with our overall message, and that this is not a venting session or something to be taken as, oh, I should feel bad for those students, or I should go talk to those students because they're going through something more. If you don't really understand the purpose, you can't really support us. And I also don't want anyone to feel like we're blaming white people, because that's not the message that we're trying to send either. We're not blaming the privileged people. It's more so we're advocating for structural changes to ensure that everyone who comes on this campus is treated the same, has shared experiences. We obviously won't share the same thing. And then it's also to speak to how I walked through this college as a black woman. Shaquila is not. Me and her experiences are not the same, and they are very unique regardless of the fact that we're both black and we are both women. Which is why I asked many people here today to share their different testimonies, to speak to that truth as well, because we don't walk through this college the same, whether it be because we're of color or not. So I just wanted to make sure I added that piece in.
Hi everybody, my name is Alex Booker. I'm a freshman. I just want to share one small experience that I had here at Edgewood. It happened actually after the Tony Robinson shooting. I went to a couple of protests with Marisha and some other students here. And I told my ethnic studies professor that I was going to be going, I was going to miss class, and I'll let her know like I can make up anything that I can, and it's just something I really needed to do. With the subject of the class, I thought this was something that she'd be able to understand, and that she would let me make up whatever I missed. And she did. So I went to the rally, and I told her I was going to change my project, my semester project, onto this subject. And so then the day after, when I returned, the classroom was talking about the shooting, which is something that's relevant for the class. But then she without me volunteering to say anything, she stopped what one of the students was saying. She looked at me and she said, "Alex, how do you feel about this?" And then she said, "For those of you who don't know, Alex went to all the protests. That's why he wasn't here on Monday. Alex has been involved in a couple protests, and he's been doing a lot of things with this subject. So I want to hear what Alex has to say about this." So at first I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm the only one who went, so I guess I can share that part. I shared how I was actually involved for the whole thing, not just the one that I would be missing class for, and shared that this was something that I felt very personal, and I thought that it was something I really needed to do. After I shared my part, she basically let the class loose on me. There was about 6 students who I was just arguing with for a good hour. She did not stop it. She did not interrupt it. And I was just sitting there, and I was literally like sitting in my seat, and they were all across the room, and somebody would ask me something, I would respond. If somebody else would ask me something, I'd respond. And it was continuous. I didn't have anybody on my side. I didn't have anybody to support me. I was sitting there generating answers each time. They got to take chances and take turns on what their responses were going to be. They got to take a break. They got to not speak for an hour straight. And my professor just sat there. And that's something that like really hurt me, because I didn't think that somebody who's a trained professional in this field would just allow to happen. And I was really hurt, and I lost faith in that class. I chose that ethnic studies class because I wanted to learn. I didn't choose that ethnic studies class because I wanted to teach. I am trying to be a biology major. I am a biology major. I'm trying to be a veterinarian. This isn't my field. This isn't what I want to do. I'm not trying to be a teacher. I'm not trying to do stuff in social justice. I took the class because it was something that I was interested in and I wanted to learn. And that's what we're saying about our demands, is that students of color are being forced to take on roles that we didn't even sign up for. I didn't sign up to educate people in a whole entire classroom, nor am I trained to deal with arguing against 6 people at once about a subject and not blow up. I had a migraine after that because I didn't know how to contain my emotions without going crazy and cussing somebody out, because I'm arguing against 6 people and they're just waiting for me to slip. And as soon as you say something that has to do with emotions and not facts, they're like, oh, well, that's just your emotion. Oh, that's just you playing the race card. And it's not playing the race card. It's the truth. And I think a lot of people are using that against us and making us feel, or making me feel, that I can't say something because of my race. I can't validate something with how I feel because of race, because supposedly in Madison's not racist. And that's something that really hurt me, and it hurt how I looked at the class, and it honestly hurt how I looked at Edgewood. I could not see how a professor could sit there and watch something like that happen and just not care. Like, honestly, after it was over, she was like, okay, you guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break and watch a documentary when we come back. I thought she was joking. I was like, are you kidding? That's not how you facilitate a conversation. You don't just let it end with all these tensions and then just say, we're going to take a break and then we're going to watch a movie. And there was nothing resolved. Those students still felt like they were validated, and I still felt like I was targeted, and it just made me feel like I should not be in the class, and I shouldn't just speak to anybody in the class because we now have opposing views. And nobody else in the room really stepped up to show that they shared those views. I wasn't on a panel, I wasn't doing a presentation. This was supposed to be a group discussion, this was supposed to be a class discussion. And I felt like it turned into a Q&A for me to a whole classroom. And that's just something, like I said, one of my small testimonies that really affected me in this semester particularly. And that's why I really connect with the demands that we have, because I feel like we need to have professors that can truthfully facilitate that kind of conversation, because it is a conversation that needs to be had, but we need to have people who know how to facilitate that and not let the burden be put on the students. Like I said, this isn't my major, this isn't what I want to do. This is something that I feel like I have to be a part of because it affects me, but this isn't the field of study that I'm going into. So I have to deal, now I'm forced basically to major in biology, and now I have to deal with educating people when that's not what I came to this school for. And I honestly feel that that's something that we need to change, and we need to make We need to make faculty and staff members be available to educate the students, because I'm here to learn as well. I'm not here to teach.
You too are educated.